My parents cut me off for choosing a different career than they wanted. Now I am successful and they are desperate for my help after their business went bankrupt. I'm 28, male, and I've got a story that's been weighing on me for a while. A few years back, my parents cut me off because I didn't want to follow the career path they had mapped out for me. They basically acted like I didn't exist. Fast forward to now, I've made something of myself without them, and they've hit rock bottom. Now they're coming to me, desperate for help. The way they've handled it? Let's just say it's been a mess of manipulation and guilt trips. I grew up in a comfortable middle-class home. My parents ran a decent-sized business and always made it clear they expected me to take over one day. It wasn't some massive corporation, but we never wanted for anything. They raised me on the idea that family comes first, and that working for someone else was settling. I bought into it at first. When you're a kid, you think your parents know best, right? But by the time I was in high school, I started realizing that the whole business thing wasn't for me. I was into tech, coding, specifically. My dad, though, he was dead set on me joining the business. He kept telling me how everything he'd built was for me, how I had a responsibility to carry it forward. It all came to a head when I was 21, halfway through college. I sat them down one night and told them I was changing my major to computer science. I figured it was better to be upfront about it. Big mistake. My dad just stared at me, like I'd said I was dropping out to join the circus. My mom, she didn't even look at me, just kept cutting into her food, silent. "You're making a huge mistake," my dad finally said. "You think sitting in front of a computer all day is going to make you happy? You think that's a real career?" I tried to explain it to him. I told him how much I loved tech, how I couldn't stand the thought of spending the rest of my life in a business I didn't care about. He didn't listen. Instead, he got pissed. "If you walk away from this family, don't expect anything from us," he said. Just like that. No room for discussion. "We've given you everything, and this is how you repay us?" My mom finally spoke up, but only to agree with him. "You're throwing away your future," she said quietly, shaking her head. "We raised you better than this." That was it. No more financial help. No more family business. I packed up that night and left. The next few years were rough. I had to pick up 2 jobs to cover my tuition, barely had time to sleep between studying and working, but I got through it. Graduated with a computer science degree, and I've been working in tech ever since. I don't regret it for a second. It's what I love. During all that time, my parents didn't reach out. Not once. They made it clear I wasn't following their plan, so I wasn't part of their lives. It stung, but I got used to it. Then, about a year ago, I started hearing things. People from back home were saying my parents' business wasn't doing so hot. I shrugged it off at first. Businesses go through tough times, right? But then I heard from an old family friend. They'd gone bankrupt. Totally wiped out. I didn't get all the details, but apparently some bad investments and poor management decisions left them broke. I figured that was the end of it. They had their pride. No way they'd reach out to me. But I was wrong. Out of nowhere, my mom emailed me. It was short, just a few lines, but it was dripping with desperation. She said they missed me, that they wanted to reconnect. I ignored it at first. Then she sent another. Then my dad started leaving these awkward, guilt-laden voicemails. He talked about how they were ready to forgive the past and wanted to start fresh. The thing was, they weren't fooling anyone. They needed something. I finally agreed to meet them. We sat down at this little cafe, and I could tell immediately something was off. My dad, who used to pride himself on his appearance, looked like hell. My mom had this nervous energy about her, like she wasn't sure how to play this. After the small talk, my dad went right into it. No build-up, no apology. "We need your help," he said, eyes down, voice steady like this was a business deal. I leaned back. "With what?" He sighed, rubbed his face. "The business is gone. We lost everything. We were hoping you could help us out, just for a little while until we get back on our feet." I stared at him for a long second, trying to wrap my head around it. They cut me off, disowned me, and now they're asking for my help? "You've got to be kidding me," I said, shaking my head. "You kicked me out when I didn't follow your plan, and now you want me to bail you out?" "We were trying to do what's best for you," my mom chimed in, her voice soft but calculated. We thought you'd come back once you saw how hard it was on your own. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So you cut me off hoping I'd fail and come crawling back? Don't twist it, my dad said, starting to lose his cool. We're your parents. We've given you everything. Now we need your help. I couldn't hold back anymore. You didn't give me shit after I left. I worked my ass off to get here, and now you're asking for a handout? My dad's face turned red, but he kept it together. We made sacrifices for you. We put you through school. You didn't put me through anything. I cut him off. You cut me off and left me to figure it out. I paid my own way. You haven't been there for me in years, and now you want me to act like none of that happened? My mom started crying, but I wasn't falling for it. I'd seen this act before. I could tell they weren't used to being told no, especially by me. But I wasn't going to be guilt-tripped into saving them. I stood up, threw a few bucks on the table for my coffee, and said, I'm done with this conversation. I walked out before they could say anything else, but that wasn't the end of it. Not by a long shot. A couple of weeks later, I got a letter from their lawyer. They were trying to sue me for some ridiculous claim that because they paid for part of my upbringing and tuition, I was financially obligated to support them now. I couldn't even believe it. They were treating raising me like a business investment gone wrong, and now they wanted me to cover the losses. I called my lawyer, who basically laughed at the whole thing. It was a joke. They had no legal standing whatsoever. Still, it stung. My own parents were now trying to drag me through the courts because I wouldn't bail them out. I sent them a simple message through my lawyer. Don't contact me again unless it's to drop this bullshit, or I'll be the one taking legal action. I thought that was the end of it. But no, they weren't done yet. The final straw was when my dad showed up at my office. Out of nowhere, no warning. I was in a meeting when I got a call from the front desk saying someone was there to see me. I walked out, expecting a client, and there he was. My dad, standing in the lobby of my workplace, looking desperate. I walked up to him, trying to keep my cool. What are you doing here? I asked, my voice low. We need to talk, he said, voice tight. Not here, I replied. Not now. He didn't care. He got louder. You think you can just cut us off like that? We're your family. We raised you. You owe us. I could feel my coworkers watching, and I was fuming. He was trying to embarrass me, force my hand in public. It was a last-ditch effort to make me feel like I had no choice but to help. Get out, I said, cold and calm, or I'll have security remove you. His eyes flared, and he took a step toward me, lowering his voice. You're gonna regret this. You're nothing without us. I just stared at him. You're wrong. I'm done. He stormed out, but by then, I knew this was it. There was no going back after that. Since then, they've tried to contact me a few times, emails, voicemails, even through other relatives. But I've blocked them on everything. I'm done being manipulated, guilted, or made to feel like I owe them anything. Here's the thing. Family isn't about blood. It's about trust, respect, and actually giving a damn about each other. My parents don't get that. They're stuck in this mindset where I'm their property, something they're entitled to. But they're not entitled to a damn thing from me. So that's where I'm at now. I've moved on. I've built a life I'm proud of without them. And if they can't handle that, that's on them, not me. They dropped the lawsuit after I called their bluff, and I haven't heard from them since. No apologies, no accountability, just silence. Maybe they finally realized they couldn't control me anymore. It still stings sometimes. Cutting off your family isn't something you ever expect to have to do. But I've learned that boundaries are more important than blood. You can't let toxic people, parents or not, drag you down because they feel entitled to your success. I hope one day they figure their lives out. But it's not my problem anymore. I owe them nothing. If you've dealt with family drama like this, trust me, I get it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more stories like mine. We're in this together.